All right, welcome to class. All we did today was we focused on the assignment Empire's Fall. For this one, all you have to do, the left-hand side, you can make that column smaller. I kind of made it too big. You just need the numbers. On the right side, you're answering this question that, what was the reason these civilizations fell apart? It's always really important to ask yourself that. And the reason we study that is because we don't want it to happen to us, because history does tend to repeat itself, that you kind of see these common themes over and over again of why countries or civilizations kind of fall apart. So all you have to do is read the source, read each slide, there's only 4 of them, and ask yourself, what was the reason why they fell apart? So the first one was about the Mayans. My last 2 classes kind of came up with a government collapse. They were constantly fighting. There was natural disaster like a drought, and they used up all their natural resources, aka meaning they ran out of food. Source 2, we then have our Aztecs. I also told all my classes so far that we talk a lot about the Aztecs. Main reason being is Incas technically fell apart, but Incas still, there's a lot of people in Peru and Argentina that still classify themselves as Incas. And same with the Mayans, that Aztecs are really the only one that completely had been wiped out from humanity. So most of these sources tend to talk about the Aztecs. But source 2 is really fascinating, so please make sure you read it. It talks about Hernando Cortez and how the Aztecs thought he was a god because of his appearance. So they kind of trusted the Spanish way too much and let him come into their city. Which then Cortez wound up betraying them. He wound up capturing their king and actually holding hostage most of the nobles. And then he wound up killing them during a ritual ceremony. It also talked about in that source that the Spanish had better weapons than the Aztecs. Source 3, which a lot of people have fun reading this one, is about disease. I recommend please put more detail. I just on my screen have written disease. You can pull out what disease you want to talk about. And then the 4th one was, I think, most classes' favorites. It talks about the human sacrifices that the Aztecs had to sacrifice because of religious reasons, which meant they constantly had to go to war. They were human sacrificing about 20,000 people a year. So when they went to war, they didn't want to kill their enemies because they wanted to capture them so they could sacrifice them. Well, that's very difficult to go into a battle with the intention of not trying to kill people, but to capture them. And wars are expensive, which eventually will lead to their destroying of their economy. But religious purposes is a big reason why they kind of fell apart. You can then do FPT, Emperors Fall Apart. With this one, it talks a lot about geography. I just really want you to choose 2 reasons why or what contributed to the fall of the American empires. Meaning, I want you to pick 2 of these reasons. Was it disease? Was it them trusting Cortez? Religious reasons? Government collapse? Pick 2 and talk about it in a full paragraph. Which means if you just copy my screen, you might have to go back and really read the source, because this assignment is just a summary in order to answer that question. Please don't forget to do your other assignments, especially the technology one. There is a video posted for that. And your questions of the day.